everybody. I am here because I'm going to string up some pearls and some chain. We're going to make a necklace. We're going to see how this goes. I've got everything pretty much laid out of what I'm going to use. I've got some gorgeous ivory colored button pearls. I've got some swan crystals here. I think I'm going to use this silk color because I have some light rose 4mm, some ruby AB 4mm silk, and some light cyan. I don't think with the color way that I'm going for here, I don't think the other colors would look right. So we're going to use this silk color. It's kind of a peachy pink, which I really do like that. And then we're going to do these button pearls. Okay. We will not be using the whole strand of these. So I'm probably going to take off, I'd say about half. Probably won't use all of them, but if we need more, we've got more. Okay. I'm also going to use this Pro Econoflex by Softflex. This is a 49 strand in fine, 21 pound test strength. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use it from the spool. This is a fine because sometimes with pearls the hole is a little small, so we want to have a fine wire to go through those so that you know that it fits. All right, so I'm also going to use this chain. I got this chain in a box from Randy at ThunderHorse Descendent. This was something that she included with her wedding jewelry kits that she sent out. And I didn't use it because it didn't fit with the theme of what I was going to make for her wedding jewelry. So this got set aside. I'm also going to use this ring by TierraCast. And then we've got some 2x2 crimps from Softflex and some oval jump rings from Randy at ThunderHorse Descendant. And then swan crystals or S-word crystals or prestige or brilliance, depending on where you buy them from. So, when I bought these, they were Swarovski. So because they were Swarovski at the time that I bought them, I'm going to call them what they are. They are Swarovski crystals. Okay. So now I'm just going to string up some of these gorgeous button pearls, and I got these from Jennifer Butler at Butler Beads, or the Bead Butler, I think is what she goes by. And I'm just going to string up, let's say 6, and then I'm going to add one of my crystals. All right, there's 5 and 6. And then I'm going to add a crystal. One, 2. Been kind of dreaming about this pearl and chain necklace for a while now. So I'm just going to put it together and see how it turns out and if I like it. 5 and 6. And we're gonna take a crystal. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've probably been off screen for part of this, so I apologize. There's 6, and we are going to take crystal. All right. You probably can't see this, but I have a ruler on my mat. It's a beadsmith mat, and it's got a little ruler on it. And this 3 sections here is about 3 inches, and I want about 8 inches. So we know each section is about an inch, and I want 8 inches, so I'm going to do 8 sections, and there's 3. So we're going to get some more sections going on here. I want my necklace to be about 16 inches, I think. And about half of the necklace is going to be these pearls and crystal. And these are, like I said, freshwater pearls, freshwater button pearls I got them from the Bead Butler. And these are irregular. They are not all the same. And that's okay. I like the organicness of it. So even if they don't all match and they're not all perfect, it just makes the piece more interesting for me. It's one of the things I like about the irregular pearls, is that they're organic, they're natural. Although when these were on the strand, you really couldn't tell that there was quite a bit of irregularity in it until you start stringing them up like this. And then you start to see it a little bit more. Okay, 4. 5. And 6. And a crystal. I have 5 sections done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 3 sections left to do. I will say that my gold doesn't really match. My TierraCast gold is quite different from my chain gold, and I believe the chain came from Vintage, if I remember correctly from Randy. It's more of a brass, so it's kind of got a green gold, a green tint to it. And you can see it more when the TierraCast gold is next to it. Kind of looks more green, but finding a ring this color is a little tough. So if I put this together and I don't like this chain, I do have some other options that I can pull out. And I might like that better. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 2 and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and my crystal. Okay, this last section is just going to be pearls. I want my beginning and ending to both end on pearl. I really don't want the crystal right next to the gold finding. Come on. Having trouble with that hole today. All right, 3. That's 4. And 5. And 6. And I'm going to check the length. Make sure I've got the length that I want. I am still about 7.5 inches. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just go ahead and put one more section on here. One more little set of 6 pearls. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there we go. 5 and 6. And let's see where we end up on. Now we should be a little over 8 inches, and we're about 8.25, which is perfect. That is what I want. Okay. Now I'm going to crimp this. Let's get a couple little gold tubes out. There we go. Okay. We're going to try this. I do like to use the magic crimpers, but with fine soft flex, sometimes the magic crimper just, the wire's too fine for the magic crimper. So what I'm gonna do is, to combat that, I'm going to snip a little piece off. Okay, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do a little trick. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now the trick is, and I learned this from Nile, is you add a little piece of the soft flex into the tube. Okay, and that's just going to give the crimp some extra material to grab hold of. Okay, why aren't you doing what you're supposed to be doing? My pliers do not seem to want to smash. So we're going to try again. Here we go. And I'm just kind of opening up just a smidge and opening it and closing it all around that crimp tube. This is a soft flex crimp tube. They work really well with the magical crimping pliers. I do not have as much luck with the Beetle-On, but the soft flex tubes work really nicely. Okay. And I just kind of go around until there's no, I don't feel it smashing anymore and forming it into that little bead. But I am going to test, and I'm pulling on the extra cord right there, and it pulled right out. So that tells me my crimp is not working on the fine, so I don't have enough material in there. That is okay. So we're going to try it again. And if it doesn't work and I waste another crimp tube, then I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Because I really wanted that ball at the end, but like I said, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's okay. So I will bend my wire this time, and I will put 2 extra strands in here to give me what I want. Just remember, when you trim these extra tails off out of your tube, not to cut your regular wire. Not to cut your project wire. Okay. There we go. 1. Like Rosanna says, don't Hercules it, but squeeze it and close. And keep going around and turning your project all the way around. Get a nice bead going here. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that's not pulling out. Okay, this is my big one. Yeah, that's not pulling out. We've got good crimp going on here. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get 2 strands of these through the pearls, but let's see. Yeah, that's not going through. So we know that that's our project cord, and we want to trim these 3 down as close as we can get them. Okay. Okay. And this big ring here is my excess. So let's trim this first one down. Good. And let's see, I think this is coming out the back end over here. Let me get a hold of that wire and pull it out. Yep, there's my ring. It's safe. All right. I'm going to try and trim that down just a little bit more so my pearls actually sit up there pretty well. And I don't have my extra eyeballs on. There we go. Okay. So what's going to end up happening is I'm probably going to add a crimp cover onto that. Just because I'm really not liking how the wires are sticking out. It's just my total preference. So, okay. Now we're going to all right, good enough. That's done. All right, now we're going to take our crimp tube, bring that down, spin that down in there. This side might be a little bit more tricky because these cords don't fit down in to the pearls. It's going to be harder to get between the pearls and the crimps. To make it fit, make it work. And that's a little small. That's okay. So I'm going to try and stick our little piece of material in here. Hold over. Okay. Go in that crimp tip. Okay, so bending it over is being a little difficult, so let's just snip it. And one. Come on, go in there. And two. That one's fraying on that side. Okay. Interesting. Had no problems getting it in the tube before. Now we got problems. Get one in there and the other one falls out. This is not being very nice to me right now. Like I said, it's going to be tricky to get this extra material in the crimp tube. There we go. Would you stay in there, please? I would appreciate it very much if you cooperated with me. Okay, pull that down just a smidge because it looked like it was bigger than the other side. Okay, it's probably going to be close enough. All right. Crimp and crimp. I probably am going to add some crimp covers because I've got a lot of space right here. But that's okay because the soft flex wire is pretty. So if it shows a little bit, not even worried about it. Okay. Now, another tricky part is trimming these guys down and not getting my loop. Okay, got that one. When I put the crimp cover on, it's also going to help make sure that these pieces of extra material that I'm cutting down to the crimp don't still stick out and poke somebody, which they can do. So that'll be something I do off camera because my crimp covers are not accessible at the moment. Okay. All right. Piece one. And my loops are slightly different, but that's okay because this one is not going to be visible. It's going to be in the back. All right. Now the fun part. Open. And let's get the ring on there. We're going to have to open that just a smidge wider. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I am kind of pulling this apart. Generally for a jump ring you don't want to do that, but this is not a jump ring. This is a figure 8 little connector. And I don't really like these. I could cut it off, but I don't really know the material or how soft it is, and yeah. I just don't want to try it. Okay, so let's get a jump ring. And we're going to put our jump ring onto our ring. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay. And I want to double over this chain, so I'm gonna just pick a ring kind of somewhat in the center. And hopefully get this on here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's move my little... Okay. So here we go. We've got the chain on one side, which is what I was going for, and the ring in the center. Yeah. That is beautiful. I really, really like that. I like where that's going. Okay, now let me see here. Gotta love when you break a nail looking for bright beads. Just broke that sucker right off. Nice. Okay. I thought my pearls were right here next to me. But I'm not seeing them. I had some larger pearls. Oh, there they are. Okay. So here we go. Okay. This is a larger potato pearl here. These make fabulous little bubbles. Okay. And I've got a little ball head pin. Please fit on my pearl. And it fits. Okay. Alrighty then. So I want a somewhat, not really huge ring, but I want one large enough that will fit over my ring, because I am going to directly attach it to the loop there. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to have quite the wrap going on here, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. And after I do this, and if I'm not okay with it, then I will just cut it off and do it again. It'll be fine. The biggest thing is closing this back up and doing the wire wrap. Okay. I need to get a grip on that. We're going to use these chain nose pliers here, and we're going to wrap. 1. Okay. There we go. And my clippers. I have said before, I am not a teacher. And there we go. That clipper just did not want to work. So what I'm going to do is grab out my, these are my Xuron crimpers. They have a really nice tip on them. I'm going to use that to put down my end. Okay, and sometimes if you use the little crimper holes, it'll pop that down into place too. Okay, come on. Do what you're supposed to do here and go down. Okay. Close enough. All right. So I got my little pearl drop here and my chain. Okay. All right. There's our necklace. I'm gonna finish this off camera, but I am gonna add I'm gonna put these on one jump ring and add a lobster claw, but I want to make sure I get the length right before I trim everything. So you kind of got to hold it up here. I want everything to line up. Okay. So I want them all to be the same, roughly the same length. Okay. Okay. I think right here are my 2 rings. Let's just go ahead and, okay, those cut pretty well. I'm happy with that. I'm just gonna cut them again. Well, they don't want to cut that way. That's fine. Just use our tiny little Xuron crimpers here and try and get those apart. Maybe I shouldn't have cut them like that. Okay. Come on. Okay. last one. Let's see if this one will do it. Maybe not. There we go. That might have done it just enough. Maybe. Come on. Get off of there. Sweet. I said I was going to finish this off camera, and here I am finishing it on camera. Or at least partially finishing it on camera. Because I don't think my gold lobsters are accessible either. Well, they might be. Okay. Actually, I don't want to do that yet because I want my lobster on that side. Okay. One and two, and I'm going to close this. Okay. Sometimes with oval jump rings you kind of get a little triangle, so I give it a little squish like this and on the side, and that closes them up pretty good. Okay, I'm going to add a second jump ring. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I put 2 jump rings on there like that. And now I'm going to just use 1 jump ring. All right, come on. Okay. There we go. I like the look of that. And let's do one more. Okay. This just gives a little extra. Okay, because I don't want it to. There we go. Okay. And I believe I have some gold jump rings, right? Or not jump rings, lobsters. And TierraCast right here in my drawer, my TierraCast drawer. I don't think I want this size though. I wonder if I have any smaller ones in this drawer. Yeah. Those are not the color I want. Those are oxidized brass, and I want the gold. These are a little bit big, but for somebody with dexterity issues, the larger size might be better. So I'll go ahead and use a larger size of my TierraCast. Okay. Let's put that on, and then we'll put, how about I drop it? Just drop it. Okay, clasp, and drop it again. Wow, I'm pretty good at dropping things. Okay. All right, once again. There we go. Don't drop. Okay. And done. Okay. There's our necklace all put together. And I will take pictures on the bust and add to the end credits. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. And if I ever make anything or show anything that you like, please find me on Facebook. That is where I sell all of my projects. Everything that I make is sold on my Facebook page, My Beaded Bliss. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Hope you guys all have a fabulous and wonderful beady journey. Have a great night. I noticed during editing that the necklace was completely cut off, so I did a little video to show the full completed necklace on the bust. Apologize, that is something I will fix in the future. Make sure the whole thing can be seen in the frame. Thank you so much. I hope you really like this project. I really, really like how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and being a great part of this journey with me